guys.
It would be very tough to supplant him from the starting blocks the way he has played recently.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to get that young man onto the pine.
It's controlled by Bynum, but grabbed by Boozer. So the Utah Jazz will have it to start the fourth, and we are underway. Bad pass. Ariza touched it last, but a telegraph pass.
What did Brewer do with the ball? He picks up his dribble. Well, he misses his first one there, and it almost looked like that the defender, Darren Williams, got a piece of the shot.
Now Boozer up against Bynum. It'll be Kirilenko coming off a triple-double, only the third of his career, and it came at the Lakers' expense in that 120-96 win we were talking about at the top of the telecast. He's got a triple, and that's the way it begins for the Utah Jazz. Kobe against the length of Ronnie Brewer. He's legit 6'6", 6'7" guy. Lamar got Boozer out of position, and can't make him pay. Bynum there to clean it up? No. So instead of a dunk from either one of them, a couple of missed layups. Darren Williams and Lamar and Ariza both chipped it away. So they start over 3. Pick and roll game. And Boozer setting it up for Okor. Nice flyby by Ariza, but Ronnie Brewer timed it big time.
Well, 4 Lakers were standing there, but only one person jumped, and that happened to Brewer.
Fish. Baseline. And that time, Ariza kept it alive, and Trevor, will he go back? Didn't use the glass. Bynum, a third time will work. So good activity underneath for the Lakers, but put a body on a body, as they say, especially the defensive glass.
Well, Trevor Ariza just about duplicated Brewer's play, but didn't get it to fall, but kept it alive enough for Andrew to finish up.
Carlos Boozer. That's an interesting proposition right away for the Lakers. If Andrew Bynum's going to be out there on him. An assist coming in. And Ronnie Brewer in his second season is Kirilenko. Way too long on that one, and Andrew Bynum makes it one and done. Lakers look for early offense against Phoenix, and it definitely worked. Now Ariza will go to the line and look for the three-point play. What a slasher.
Nice job by Lamar Odom, bringing it down on the wing and just lowering that shoulder enough to get himself in a position to penetrate. That Trevor is running the baseline with the help from Kirilenko. And you talk about a slasher. That's Trevor Ariza, one of the strongest 176-pounders you ever see.
Ball movement. It's Brewer inside on the reverse. And that's one thing you'll always see from the Jerry Sloan squad. They will share the basketball. That's 4 early points for Brewer. Right next to the rim. The lob. A beauty from Fish. Slamming it home. Andrew Bynum.
Well, again, any kind of dribble penetration, that's going to be to Andrew's liking, obviously. Derek, with the dribble penetration, gets enough of a bump, frees him up, and Andrew throws it down. That's what you saw a lot of against the Suns.
And get it in the neighborhood. Andrew's become that good. He had a seal early on Boozer. Kobe up against Brewer will take the Bynum pick. Now a huge mismatch inside. Again. Kobe, Andrew Bynum collaborating. 1-point game.
Again, anytime you can get a good, if the better screen you set, the more chances are you're going to get the shot.
Boozer, and they'll call the foul on Bynum.
Very, very good guy.
He's got both free throws. The best thing about it, he's only 26 years old, a native of Juneau, Alaska. 6th year out of Duke at 6'9", 265. So it's back to a 3-point lead. Now Boozer gambled, and Lamar makes him pay.
Well, if you're going to attack the rim, that's the way you do it. You very seldom miss those as opposed to a little flip shot that goes in and comes out.
50%. High percentage looks for the Lakers from Bynum. And Kobe pops it into the air. He'll volleyball it to himself. Up against Okor. Little change of direction. And no contact. Up against Kirilenko. That's contact? What they said. Boozer on the trail. And Fish got there in time. And outside the restraining arc. Tough one for Carlos Boozer. Intelligent play by Derek Fisher. But Boozer and the Jazz. Isolation play. Lamar got to the rim. Instead of Ariza the long 2. And Andrew Bynum. Look at I found. Tie it up. No, a foul on the floor. Brewer thought he had his hand on top of the basketball. And instead, a foul.
And I thought he had continuation. I mean, he might have had his hand on top of the basketball, but once the whistle sounded, as Andrew gets the offensive rebound, the foul.
Yes.
Continuation? I guess not. They're saying ball out of bounds sideline.
Second team foul. It is the first on Ronnie Brewer. Wow, what a backcourt they have to build on. Now Kobe on the spin. How sweet was that?
I'll tell you something right now. Memo Coors just now asked Brewer, they ran down the floor, Which way did he go? I heard it, didn't see it.
On Kobe.
Well, I know once they get this game on film back in Utah, Mehmet's going to want to look at it because he's going to know how that actually happened. The Kobe went behind, and he didn't even see it.
Kirilenko ties it at 12.
I mean, that's just great footwork by number 24. Just, oh my goodness, that's almost as embarrassing as getting posterized. That is the poster, matter of fact.
We take a poll with Grant Hill, our first survey. Well, good start for Kirilenko. He's got 5 of the first 13 for the Jazz. Now, Fish has got to get going, too. Over to Ariza with a nice finger roll. That's a high percentage shot. 4 for Trevor, coming off 14 and 7.
You see Trevor extend with that left arm that time?
Beautiful spin by Darren Williams, setting up Ronnie Brewer. And boy, did you see that knuckleball? The way he releases it, the spin, the rotation.
Well, it's not something you would teach. But again, if he's having success with it.
Kobe setting up Andrew Bynum athletically on the bank in air as he accepted it. All the points in the paint for the Lakers. Williams splitting the double and setting up Brewer. And with the left hand, Bynum just batting it out. Kobe up ahead to Fish too much. And what about a save? It'll be a beauty. Kobe with Ariza. And Trevor with the dunk. Kobe on the assist. Lakers by 5. That's a half dozen for Trevor Ariza.
You just have to like the way the Lakers are playing with passion. And their crowd is helping them with that passion. To get to the front of the rim. Dribble penetration. Throw it up. Let Andrew do what he can do. And Kobe says, I didn't see the first one. Show me the second one. And he says, you want to see the third? Quarter, and the Lakers have forged ahead by 5, 18-13. And again, the youngster, Andrew Bynum, on the receiving end of a couple of passes from one, Kobe Bryant. And the crowd is just becoming infatuated with the way Andrew elevates and finishes plays, whether it's the throw down or, like you just see there, the soft touch off the glass. 8 points, 5 boards for Andrew, but he picked up his second foul, so he has to go to the bench.
Here. And Ben Wallace fell on the side of his knee, twisted his knee, his ankle. Okor knocked away by Kwame. An impact player right away.
Well, he better learn that he's got some big shoes to fill.
Kobe lines it. It'll be Kwame. A board.
That's the Lakers' 5th offensive rebound already.
Well, all the 18 on the board for the Lakers in the paint. How about outside of the paint? That's not a bad way to start it out there. 21-13. Lakers right now on a 19-6 run over the last 4+ minutes. 10 on the shot clock. So Kwame up against Boozer. That's a real matchup of a couple of power forwards. Kwame deflected it away. You know, that's where he does his best work. Let's face it, at the defensive end. Nice little give. Right back to Fish. Kobe setting up Fish after Fish. That brought it back out. 10-point Laker lead. It's 11-0 on that run.
You consider what was the Lakers? They were down 9-4 or something like that, and all of a sudden, it's a 10-point advantage.
Boozer and Kwame challenged that. So the Lakers attacking early. That many points on the board already. 4+ to play, and another 3 for Kobe. 26-13. Don't wake anybody up around here. 14-0 run. Boozer, little in-between game. And Kirilenko thought he tapped it home. Tapped out by Kobe. Lakers on the run. Kobe with Fish. And Fish will go to the line to shoot 2.
What a good decision by Derek. Kobe was on the wing and was signaling like the law, but Darren Williams never committed and stayed back a bit.
A point guard position. Plus you got other guys on the floor a year older like Jordan Farmar playing better basketball. He also added he did not like the way Derek Fisher was treated in Utah on November 30th when he got booed. Did not like that reaction from that crowd in Utah, but he said, hey, that's a red, white, and blue state. They root for their Jazz. That's just the way they are, but he wasn't happy, guys.
Believe it either, neither could we, that one of the reasons they got to the Western Conference Finals, Derek Fisher. One of the reasons they've struggled in losing 9 of their last 12 is they're so young in the backcourt now. Fisher's not there. Darren Williams is, though, and gets that one.
That's his first shot of the game, and he gets his first hoop of the game. But back to how the fans in Utah treated Derek, it has nothing to do with basketball. That was just, in my estimation, classless, because family always comes first, and you've got to recognize that. That was just booing him when he got back. Classless.
Jaron Collins late. Lamar on the nice handoff from Kobe.
Well, the referee's Steve Javie was right on the spot and said that he slid a little bit, got there late, as you mentioned, three-point opportunity. The Lakers trying to go for their 31st point with 3:13 to play against the Jazz. The Jazz, they do play some defense.
Yeah, they're one of the balanced teams in the NBA. So they can definitely score, and they're up there. In fact, they're fourth with the Lakers at fourth. They're fifth in the league. Karolinko lost it, but stayed with the play. When you got his kind of length, you can afford to stay with it. He's got 7 of the first 17.
What a couple of bounces off the floor.
Kwame, little pick and roll, shares it with Ariza, and Trevor wasn't ready. Good pass up. So a turnover for the Lakers is only their second. They've cleaned it up. They played much better in that area. Boozer, he's defended by Kwame. Going straight up, Kwame says, where was the foul? And he's got it.
Well, the official again, furthest from the play, makes the call. Maybe he's the only one that had the angle.
But all over Southern California lost a friend. And that was Stu Nahan. He was on KABC and KNBC. Also on radio here in Southern California. He's a good person. Nice guy. And our condolences to Sandy, his children. He's missed.
Absolutely. No question about that. Condolences to the entire family. And, you know, when you talk about Stu Nahan, I used to tell him once in a while that the compliment was some people would come up to me and they'd say, hey, Stu Nahan. You know, they'd just forget. They were so used to saying Stu Nahan,
right, that
all of a sudden now there's a new kid on the block. And they just, I took it as a big-time compliment because he was a big-time person. A position-type defender. He doesn't really block shots. He will occasionally, once in a blue moon. But he's there to take charges and really disrupt you in that fashion.
32-19 as Lamar gets a couple. His first trip, making his second trip to the free throw line. So Harpering in there as well. Boozer got away from Kwame. Blocked by Radmanovic, but right to Brewer.
Well, again, when you go for that steal like Kwame did, if you don't get it, not enough time to rotate defensively as a teammate. The Lakers are fortunate that he missed, but they cleaned it up.
Radmanovic also in there. Kobe, a triple. Kobe elevating. He's got 35 for the Lakers. Yes, he's got 11 on his own. 35. And when I talk about 35 from Kobe, well, how about 6 assists? So he's had 10 in 11 plus 6 other buckets. Harper, almost an air ball. And over the shoulder, Lamar, Kobe, little hesitation on the flyby. Harper thought he was going to go up with the 3. Smart move. 13 for Kobe. Lakers with 37.
37 in the first quarter against the Jazz.
Inside Jason Hart. Inside-outside game. It'll be a Boozer. Soft touch for the big guy. Good face-up guy from 16 to 18 feet away, and that was where he was at. Here's by 14, 37-23. Deep 3. It was long enough. And Kobe avoided the foul with Jaron Collins.
I don't know if he avoided it. He just didn't get called for it.
It was Matt Harper, not close. And the box out for Jordan Farmar. He kept it away from Ronnie Brewer. Kobe waits. Jordan saw him. So the season high for the start of the game at the first 12 minutes. A bullet to Kwame. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Wow. Yeah, that's a fastball for anybody, let alone Kwame.
Wow. that ball got to Kwame. You always hear me talking about hands in the ready position. That was a defensive stop by Kwame.
Protect.
That ball was smoked through there. He had his hands ready, just didn't hold on to it cleanly. Recovered enough to get fouled. Now the experience is 2 free throws. First ones in what, 19 games?
Off the lip of the rim. Good minutes early for Kwame. Get it out of your system. 5 minutes on the floor. He's got a board. And you can see what he's done so far this year. We don't want to magnify it, but the guys in the truck felt like, let's everybody get in on this.
I mean, the facts are the facts.
Yeah. And he bangs home the second. So 1 of 2. That's above his 44%. And the Lakers lead by 38 with a new high for the first 12 minutes.
You wish they led by 38.
Right now, 15. The runner by Miles. And Kwame kept it away from him for a second chance opportunity. So 38 on the board, and the crowd on their feet at Staples Center.
And that's the key. The crowd is recognizing not only the fact that the Lakers are, up on the scoreboard, but the passion with which they're playing. And that's all they want you to do. Come out, play as hard as you possibly can, and let everything else fall into place. And right now, things are falling into place for the team in goal.
Get the call to come up and play for the Jazz because, quite frankly, they just didn't need him. So the future is bright for the Jazz in the backcourt. They are young, Joel, but they are talented. And we'll see if Miles can make a difference here in the second quarter for the Jazz.
All right, Lindsay, they've got a lot of players. Utah is a very young team. In fact, they start the season as the third youngest in the NBA. So still a ton of time on the shot clock for the Utah Jazz. And a team that won on Wednesday, and a team that also won the division last year. Now they're 10th overall in the Western Conference. They were 51-31 last year, going to the Western Conference Finals.
Andrew has to stay away from that third foul real soon here.
Harpring got Radmanovich out of position. Couple of free throws coming up for Matt Harpring.
I tell you, Roney was the secondary defender again. The foul was called on Radmanovich, but Roney was there to try to tomahawk yet another shot. Now, because Jordan went to the middle, left his feet, and was actually getting ready to pass that to somebody else. They took that away, and he found Radmanovich. Good reaction play by both Jordan and Radmanovich.
So the Lakers by 18 as Harpring's on the board with a free throw. Radmanovich against the smaller Matt Harpring. And Roney, good face-up look. Roney at the free throw line before Millsap because they had the weak side screen. And it worked well. 44-24.
That's strictly the triangle offense that they ran there.
Ball thrown away. Harpring looking for it from a different angle, wasn't he?
Well, all Mehmet Okur had to do was take one dribble to his left, improve the angle, then make the entry pass.
Fifth turnover on the Jazz. So the second unit, a positive beginning to the second quarter. Farmar caught in the air again. Gets it right back. Jordan Farmar. Can he elevate for a guard? He's got his first bucket of the game.
Good return pass by Roney because Jordan's first look at that one was possibly going to be blocked, so he passed it. Good job.
And I talked about elevation. He's got Roney on the no look, and he'll go to the line with a couple free throws and can't believe it. He's got to watch out. You'll get a technical if you slam the standard. I got a feeling Steve Javie may say something to him.
Now they've got to, if they do, they've got to change the rule because that was just frustration. As Jordan Farmar said, hey, you stole it from me a few minutes ago. My turn. As Roney gets fouled on the shot. That's the energy and match the effectiveness.
Utah's come out of the timeout shooting 27% for the game. They're 0 for 6 so far. In the second 12 minutes, Radmanovich planted down. Bam, taken away by Sasha. Loose ball, Radmanovich. So a real good start as well. With double figures overall from the bench as a group. The run up Andrew Bynum. See him swing in the middle of the paint and go up. It's blocked away though by a much smaller man because he never really fired on that. Miles underneath will go to the line looking for the three-point play as Radmanovich gets his second foul. Very athletic move by C.J. Miles.
Defensive play on Andrew Bynum and then just kept on moving down the floor. And Darren Williams finds him and he finds the hoop. Three-point play.
Starting to fall into place for him as he does get the three-point play. Williams, the 5 on the floor. And now the ball stops with Kirilenko.
3 seconds.
Williams will be going up. No, it'll be a deep three for C.J. Miles. And boy, sweet stroke. 47-30. That's a half dozen for C.J. Miles. He had hit coming into the game over the last 3 games, 15 of his last 25 for the Jazz. He has taken the minutes of Gordon Guricek, who's in the doghouse and sent home but reinstated. Sasha, quick release. Got the deuce on a little fall away. It had to be a quick release. Pressure was coming. Took a shot in the back of the head from a teammate, 49-30.
Roney was giving him some props, hit him upside the head.
For Sasha. C.J. Miles. And lost. Loose ball. Millsap. They've got Okur underneath for the easy one. So a bad break for the Lakers that time. Couldn't corral it when it seemed like they had it.
Good thing.
The first points for Okur.
Good thing it's collapsible rims. I don't think Mehmet would have been able to dunk that one. He barely got his fingertips over the rim.
Inside of 7 minutes left in the first half. Lakers still by 17. It was as high as 23. Sasha blocked by Miles. Roney setting up Radmanovich. And Andrew Bynum, a third try now. Farmar. Radmanovich this time. Got it. Boy, they worked hard at that trip on the offensive end. Lead by 20.
Again, it's just extra effort, whether it's offensive rebounds by Roney or just hustling after balls the way Sasha's others have done.
Now Williams has got the size on Farmar. On the spin, beat Radmanovich to the spot because Lottie tried to help out. So a good move by Darren Williams. Fairly quiet so far. Only got 4 and 12. Left hand, high off the glass. Farmar looks for the three-point play.
Now, it's funny how this game works. It's not funny. It's just ironic how this game works. You look for where you have the biggest advantage. Darren Williams looked at Jordan Farmar and said, I've got a bigger advantage if I post him up. Jordan says, and I've got a bigger advantage if I take you with speed off the dribble. He scores three-point opportunity as a couple of substitutes coming back for the Lakers, and that's Kobe and Lamar.
Reminded them before they came out of the locker room. Hey guys, a few weeks ago, you remember what happened in the first half at Salt Lake City? You gave up 70 to the Utah Jazz.
Believe me, Joel. You do not have to remind teams when they get smoked like that.
They were smoked.
They know.
They were really smoked.
But it's a good idea to, bring it up a little bit. But they know.
Kwame wanted it. And Trevor, brand new, even with Kwame there. They have no experience together at all. Kobe leaving Miles on the reverse. So Kobe, usually, that's an easy one for him. They've got a little numbers game working. And Matt Harpering on the reverse will get it.
Got one layup missed on one end, leads to a layup made on the other.
Down to 19, 57-38. Man, blocking foul coming up. Jerry Sloan just a little upset. Tie's not that loose yet. It's not halfway down yet for Jerry Sloan.
Careful though, Jerry. Although with this score, you might want to get a technical just to inspire your team a little bit more.
So Fish to the free throw line. Jazz out of fouls already. Still, the Lakers have a foul to give. And that is Brian Forte, son of Joe Forte, working with Pat Frere and Steve Javie. Fish gets the first.
There it is. There's the tech.
You knew it was coming. It was eventual. It was automatic, wasn't it?
Jerry was sitting. He sat down, and I tell you something, boy. He said, "Look, if you want to go to dinner with me, you better let me pick the restaurant." The official didn't want to let him pick the restaurant, so he teed him up.
And Darren Williams had a look on his face, a little sheepish grin with Matt Harpering, like they both knew it was coming from their coach.
Derek missed one of the three.
59-38. Lakers still by 21. It's the guy you got to worry about the most because he can get his own. That time, Kobe picked his pocket clean. Coming up with Kwame, Ariza the trailer. It'll be Kwame inside, blocked away by Kirilenko. Didn't protect it very well, and getting back into the play, Ariza. He took it away, and he saves it. Kwame this time. And Lamar up against Kirilenko.
They're letting him play.
Kwame sets up Lamar. They're enjoying it at Staples Center now.
Call a technical on Kobe that time. And I like that. Kobe took that technical for his teammates because he felt his teammate got fouled on the play with no whistle. So Kobe is taking it for his teammates. I like it.
So free throw coming up for C.J. Miles. But you can see the design by it because he went straight through his teammates and talked to them right away.
And when your leader steps up for you like that, that goes a long way.
So Miles misses the technical. Lakers by 23, matching their largest lead of the contest. Seems like a Sunday, but the way the emotions are running pretty high right now, it's back to a Friday or Saturday.
Now Kobe has to be very careful now, though, because one of the officials is a guy that you don't want to have words with.
On Harpering, Lakers out of fouls the rest of the way in the first half, just like the Utah Jazz. Miles off the curl. Kobe Gamble, Boozer with the left hand. Not exactly a thing of beauty, but it fell. So Carlos Boozer into double figures first for the Jazz. Kirilenko's got 9, Boozer's got 10. Boozer's 10 and 4.
And
averaging a double-double.
And the Lakers have 64.
Kobe, another 3.
I had to wait till he shot because you know what he's capable of doing at any time.
That is their biggest lead of the game. Kobe averaging just shy of 27. And right at 27, actually. Up to 16. Boozer. We have a go down. So Carlos Boozer, he's a high post threat. Whether it's on the attack or just settling for the jumper there. 3+ to play. Kobe. The guy is incredible. 67-42. Try to slow him down. I think the guns are out of both holsters now.
I tell you, that's one guy you just don't want to get that angry. Kobe, what you got? You got any firepower? You got 2 of them? Bang, 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 bang.
Well, he's got tomorrow. And let's see, with therapy, with Gary Vitti and the rest of his staff, if Luke could make it back.
But the good side of waiting and not playing Sunday is they've got 4 days off after Sunday.
Don't play till Friday. Fish off the pit. Lamar for 3. Yes! Everybody's involved tonight, aren't they? 70-44. It's up to 26.
It's contagious.
Over for the Lakers. One of the reasons they've won 9 of the last 11. They've cleaned things up when it comes to turnovers. Ronnie Brewer almost lost it. Boozer. But the smaller man, not really, but the way he elevates.
And the way he puts that ball up into the rafters, he shot that one over Kwame.
So 14 for Carlos Boozer. They'll run off Kwame. Goes for Fisher. It'll go to Kobe, though. And it'll be a foul on Ronnie Brewer. As Kobe is going to the free throw line. You ready for this? The first time in the half. Not Staples Center. And Kobe perfect on both. 27 is the lead. Disbelief.
Say it again.
That's why I said it. Is disbelief. 2 for 1.
It doesn't even sound right.
Oh, Gord. Too close. So, Mehmet Okur. He's got 4. Trying to get it to the ball. 2 passes. Kwame off the deflection.
Well, see,
Yeah.
Brewer that time knocked it out of Mehmet Okur's hands, and it goes right to Kwame.
It's been that good for the Lakers in the half. It's worked that well.
One of those halves. Hopefully for the Lakers, it'll be one of those games.
75 already. Final shot time. Brewer trying to get into the paint. Now, they've got to go up. Will Miles get it off in time? No. You said one of those halves, one of those games. They'd like to forget about it at the other end of the floor right now, the Utah Jazz.
There's a classic example of indecisiveness. Kobe catch the pass, or they're going to throw it directly to him.
On the deflection, it goes right to Kobe. Fall away 3, real short, and that'll do it. But he didn't miss many, did he? As Kobe was 7 of 13 in the half, and the Lakers did a number over the first 24 minutes on the Utah Jazz. So the Jazz had 70 on them in the first half a few weeks back. The Lakers beat them by 5 in that department. 75-48, the halftime score. It's time to join Bill McDonald now with Norm Nixon, Stu Lance. The time for the Jack of the Box halftime report. Guys, team for Lamar Odom to go along with 6 boards and 4 assists. And that's on 7 shots. Real efficient. First half for LO.
Well, the Lakers as a team have been real efficient, shooting 58% from the field for the game, and I'm just amazed at the total points they put up in the first half.
It's only 38%, as you saw the numbers. Hot hand of C.J. Miles, and it continues. So if you want to get back into a game, there's a guy that could help them, along with Darren Williams.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers approach the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. Do they come with that same intensity and fire?
Kobe. Fall away over the glass. Tough angle.
There's no tough angle for him.
Man, oh man. Over the corner of the glass. The knuckleball. That's Ronnie Brewer, his release.
It looked good going through that net, though, didn't it?
When it hit the ground in short minutes, he has been very productive offensively. We saw that with 14 and 7 as he misses those 2 free throws, but 6 and 4, averaging 14 minutes a game so far since he arrived.
I would like him to take just a little bit off of his arc, just a hair off. I think he'd be a better shooter.
Pick and roll and take it away. He read it. He saw what Okur was going to do, and Ariza on the slam.
Remember how weeks ago I talked about how he anticipates where the next pass is going to go. He left his man and just shot the gap, picked it off, freed it.
Now the length on Darren Williams. Boozer. Too long. Picked up by Okur. Behind his back. That was a serious pass by him.
That was Mehmet Okur?
He told you he plays with his back to the basket so well, especially as a passer.
That was nice. I like that.
Andrew Bynum. See if he can get going. Vince will save it. Kobe beyond the arc. The 3. 84-55. Lakers up by 29.
This is getting to be... Now that should have been a turnover.
Bit of the smaller lineup. Boozer. And Lamar on the run had a lot to do with that miss. Good distraction. Ariza sharing it. Derek Fisher spotting up. It'll stay home. 87-55. A 32-point advantage and a timeout.
Who called the timeout? Seriously, normally after situations like that, you wait for your coach. The ball went through. They called a timeout immediately. Jerry Sloan said, I like the way my team thinks. We're getting smoked, and they know we got to stop this run. Capped off by Derek Fisher.
Shorter than this, of course. Ronnie Price.
Until Darren Williams gets off the mark, they're going to struggle.
And Andrew Bynum. Big block. Shot clock down, and what a recognition play by Ronnie Brewer.
A free shot. That's what I call the free shot. When you know you got to throw it up to beat the clock, you relax.
Short three for Kobe. He's got it again. And his foot on the line, just give him 2. So 29 for Kobe. He's above his average. Lakers still.
Again, I just said it a minute ago. Until Darren Williams gets going, this club is going to struggle.
Fish wanted to go back to Ariza. Instead, little mid-range. Ariza's there on the foul. Timed it. Trevor Ariza. He's got 11 coming off 14.
They went into that zone again, and Kobe tried to spread the needle and had it deflected.
We're almost halfway through the third. Nice smooth move inside by Ronnie Brewer with the left hand. He's got 14 points. So only Boozer and Brewer in double figures. 4 of the 5 Lakers starters are in double figures. The only one who isn't right now, Andrew Bynum at 8 and 8. Good move into the middle of the paint. Fish on the run. He's got Andrew Bynum into double figures, all 5. And the Lakers, when they have all 5 starters in double figures this year, they're undefeated.
You see how they struggled around the perimeter against that zone until Derek, off the dribble, got into the middle, got an easy one. Weak defense if you attack the middle.
Boozer providing the pick. And Darren Williams.
It's only his 3rd hoop.
3rd year out of Illinois. A guy that comes in averaging a lot more than you're talking about. Brewer running on the baseline.
He was open.
Yeah, and Williams, it's not his game. Brewer backside. Kobe ready. Tipped it over to Ariza. Lamar bouncing around. And Kobe all the way to the hole. The slam from Kobe. He's got 31. Lakers by 32. Under Carlos Boozer and adjust on the fly. Equipment on the runway. Boozer. Nice entry from Ronnie Price. So instead of 5 left, the Lakers still up by 30. 95-60.
Did you just say 95? 95. No typographical error on the because you're up 30. You just have to, I mean, especially from the coaching staff standpoint, you got to really keep them in the game mentally. You know, get on them when they make defensive mistakes. Don't just let the score be the difference.
It'll be a charge on Kobe. Not a lot of spacing on that break, was it?
Well, that was just a play where Kobe didn't read it correctly. You know, and he was the first to help the guy up. He says, my bad.
Any opponent against Utah. Fish on a contested long deuce. Picked up by Darren Williams.
But there's the inside out. They got the ball into Andrew, and then he picked it back out against that zone.
Boozer blocked but fouled after using. And a smart play by a veteran. He used the off arm to get around Andrew Bynum initially.
Really what a player does when he stands like that is he just puts his arm up. That's a very tough call there. The first one that he had a minute ago, he had his arms really come forward. This one, he gets a lot of ball on that ball.
And as I mentioned, you saw Boozer's offense, the way he erupted as Lamar got away from Collins. They were locked up. Farmar out there. Bench did a great job in the first half. As Andrew will sit down. Early entry to Kwame. So now attacking the zone, getting it in and moving it around. Boy, that is perfection. And Kwame on the receiving end.
I'll tell you something. They took that zone and ripped it to shreds. In the zone, you keep reacting to things. They had them on a string like a yo-yo.
Were never in the game at Utah a few weeks back. Kobe tried to get it away from Boozer. Spiked it a little bit too much. Farmar almost had it. Instead, Ronnie Brewer with a layup.
Well, finally something went in the favor of the Utah Jazz, because that was the play Kobe almost could have just gone over there and taken the ball. out of Boozer's hands.
Brewer up to 16, averages 13. Odom came into the middle of the paint. Perfect feed again. You get into the middle of a zone, eat them alive. 100-69.
It's a weak defense. I don't care what level you're playing. If you get a play a zone and they attack it properly, you're going to get out of that zone in a hurry.
Another reverse. Ronnie Brewer on the receiving end.
Were the Lakers playing the zone on that play? Didn't do the job defensively.
Kwame, middle of the paint. It's Farmar spotting up. Three. Stays out. Over to Boozer. Lakers from beyond the arc. 9 of 16. Missing their last 2. But you'll take 56% all day as Ronnie Price fills it up. Final 65 seconds. Lakers by 26. The last thing you want to do is relax, though. Now, Fish. And picked up by Jaron Collins.
Well, they're letting the Lakers play there because Kwame camped in the paint.
Brewer. Collins had it tapped away. Out of bounds. Last touch by Jaron Collins.
Well, 42 seconds left in the third quarter as Sasha comes in, replacing Kobe, who goes out with 31.
And the
11 out of 18 from the field.
The ultimate, of course. Kobe's been out there with 31 points in 29 minutes. Do you need him for the fourth?
Well, I hope not.
Right. That's the ultimate.
But I think he'll play in the fourth.
Jason Hart has also checked in along with Ron Millsap.
See the zone again. Now all the Lakers are doing now are standing. You got to get the ball on the inside. Shot clock issues now.
Fish. And Lamar. Will they get it off in time? Yes, he will, and go to the line looking for the three-point play.
Well, they finally got it on the inside. The pass from Derek to Lamar. Clock was becoming an issue. Derek finds Lamar, and Lamar finds the basket. So the only key now for the fans, to a large degree, is can they keep the Jazz under 100 points?
Right, tacos, baby.
Lamar gets it. Jack in the box.
Driving through.
I don't care how you get there.
103-74.
Free tacos. Jack in the box.
17, 8, and 7. Close to a triple-double for Lamar. And that's through 3. Ronnie Price. Picked up by Kwame. Final shot coming up. Farmar. Long three. Yes! Not a bad way to put a little exclamation point at the end of the third quarter.
I'll tell you something. I guess the Lakers did remember the thrashing, the old-fashioned thrashing that they took at the hands of the Jazz the last time they played. Well, they're returning the favor tonight, and there's still 12 minutes to play. As Jordan Farmar says, I see the clock. No question is it good. It's just a matter, is it going to go in? Yeah, Jordan, it went in, and it's good, and you're good. And the Lakers, good tonight. You hear about attacking a zone. The Lakers carved it up. Inside to Kobe, out to Farmar, over to Lamar, over to Fish, back inside to Kobe, and Kobe says, here, Kwame, you're all by yourself. That's the way you just take that one surgically and take it apart. And that's what the Lakers have been doing to the Jazz, seemingly, all game long.
Here at Staples Center. Cleveland on the road most recently. Milwaukee, the disintegration of the final 6 minutes as it's chased down. So you look at the best record in the Western Conference. That's the San Antonio Spurs at 20-7. The Lakers are pretty close to it. And that's with losses like that. Inside. Ronnie Price couldn't get it. Sasha hit the deck. And did he turn his ankle too at the same time? The machine's back up.
Yeah, the machine's okay. He just sprayed
Jason
WD-40 on it. He'll be fine.
He took 7 from the field for a reason. And most of them around the rim. Seen him spot up a few times. Into the triangle, there's going to be space out there. Millsap jumps into Kwame. Kwame's arms down that time, so they'll give him the foul.
Yeah, don't argue that call, Kwame. Yeah, you shake your head all you want. Don't argue it.
7 points for the Lakers bench tonight after their outscored by the Phoenix bench 28-8. So that's a pleasant development. That's a pick-me-up. As Farmar leads the way with 8. Bad pass there, though.
You see how far the distance between the passer and the receiver?
And not real crisp either.
Too far.
So the opening 2 minutes of the fourth. Second units out there from both sides. C.J. Miles on the finger roll.
They are not calling 3 seconds tonight.
Let him play.
But C.J. was in the lane for about 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Double out on Farmar. Right back to the guy.
Got to catch that one, though.
And it was right there as he hits the deck. On the break, it'll be Miles with the one-handed jam. 107-83.
So the Jazz can get 17 in 9 minutes.
Sasha, quick stroke.
See, that's where you want Sasha.
Yes.
You want Trevor at the rack, Sasha on the perimeter.
But they have had some difficult problems. As Farmar, tough fall away.
Nice challenge by Price.
Yeah, and then he ran out. A break for the Lakers that it didn't go their way very quickly. 109-85.
See the steal?
Gamble, Ariza.
When you go for a steal on the box, if you don't get it, you might as well just count it because your teammates don't have time to recover to help you.
Gamble the other side for Miles. Man-to-man, we saw zone. End of the third. And another bounce entry that took too long to get there. Paul Millsap jumped that pass. Hart, the little floater. And another easy one to the paint. 109-89, 7:35 to play.
20-point game. Crowd. They may not even inbound the ball.
Farmer got clipped on the side of the head. Didn't bother him, though. Hit by Ronnie Price. Jordan Farmar, first off the bench in double figures with 10. Bench now up to 29 points. Finally getting some minutes. Price finger rolls it. Sasha didn't see it coming that quickly. Ronnie Price score out of Utah Valley State.
You know, we talked about Sasha tweaking the ankle and made a little light of it, but you can see him not as ginger. He's not very effective on that foot, but he's staying out there. See how it feels tomorrow.
Shares it with Radmanovic. Vlade all the way to the hole. Lost it momentarily. Stayed with the play as Andrew Bynum is back on the floor. Andrew looking for a double-double with 10 and 9.
Playing the rim, didn't just brush it.
Now the Lakers keep Crittenden out there. Radmanovic extended the Millsap shot. Millsap, natural rebounder, back with it. Andrew Bynum also stays out there.
In the first half when he came in, that's why I was talking about you have to match his energy because this guy, he gets after you.
Lakers have a season high, by the way, in assists. They've got 33 so far on 41 makes. An incredible ratio. Andrew Bynum wants it against Collins. Asking for it in the post.
So go to work now.
Yeah. And the jumper didn't get there. I thought he'd swing to the baby hook in the middle of the paint.
He made a nice move. He didn't. The selection of how to shoot the ball wasn't very good. He should have banked that one.
So Bynum 5 of 11. And on the takeaway, here comes Farmar. Radmanovic. Short. But another opportunity. Crittenden. This is the kid that you want to see get some minutes in games like this. Opportunities to get some repetition.
The only problem with that is there are very few games like this.
Right. On the roll, Crittenden will go to the free throw line. Saw a little crease. He can get to the basket. He can create his own.
And not only can he get to the basket when he sees a crease, he can make a crease. He is very good at creating a shot for himself.
Andrew Bynum is done for the night, so he will not have the double-double after all. The Magic, not a long road trip for them. Winning in overtime at Miami. So a real busy night. In fact, there were a good dozen games in the NBA, including this matchup that was a mismatch from the very beginning. So the Lakers scored 75 in the first half. If you joined us late, lead it now by 21. But the second unit has played the entire fourth and final 12 minutes. Hart denied by Crittenden, so it's going to be Ronnie Price. Little guy can get up there. 6'2", 190-pounder. Guy that wasn't drafted last year with Sacramento. Now they pick up the chant of defense. That should have started a long time ago.
Really?
Millsap. On the step through. And the foul called on for the beat. Ronny Turiaf.
But anytime you swing that hard to block a shot, I mean, you're really opening yourself up for a possible foul. You know, you don't get any more height out of your jump by swinging your hand than just keeping your arm straight up.
To play up in the Bay Area.
What game are you doing?
Right now, the close one. 115-97. Lakers, 3:40 left.
Are you saying this one isn't close?
This hasn't been close for a couple hours. Radmanovich a little bit long, and Millsap will clear it out. Now you want them to work the clock. Go ahead. Take as much of the 24-second clock as possible. And Price gets away again from Ariza. 115-99.
I tell you, Phil Jackson is going to. This is what he wants, though. Something that he could, have to hold over his team. The fact that they didn't play well in the fourth quarter.
Turiaf facing up over Cutler. Rooney. Good looking form. 117-99. 3 to play.
And welcome back to Staples Center. All Lakers over the Utah Jazz, 117-99.
The Lakers doing a pretty good job right now, but again, a lot of season left to be played. And you want to make sure you keep consistency as your theme.
That's a good sign. Kobe Lamar did not play at all in the final 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Inside of 2 left, Ronnie Price. What a good-looking athlete.
Tell you something, they're going to find some time for Ronnie Price.
Yeah, they found some for C.J. Miles, and he performed at a high level. Gordon Juracek, nowhere to be seen. Oh, he came and made the trip, but he's not going to be in the rotation right now. On the deflection, Lakers get a break. It'll be Farmar for 3. Jordan filling it up. That's 13 now for the former Bruin. 122-104. Denver with 28 seconds to play as he squirts away. Saved, though, by the Lakers. Lead by 2. And Jason Hart coming up with a turnover. Ronnie Price, little guy. So he's making the most of his opportunity. In fact, 14 in 20 minutes for Ronnie Price with 3 assists. Much better for the Lakers right now than Phoenix, even though Phoenix has overall a better record.
Lakers really struggling at the free throw line as Ronny Turiaf called for a loose ball foul on the free throw miss.
Steve Javie's like, come on, guys, let's get out of here. Rise smiled.
57 to reach that 75 in the first half. That was remarkable.
How often are we going to see that?
Not very often at all.
So the final 40 seconds. Sasic with his ankle. Now everybody else get out of here healthy. Crittenden, another bad pass.
Yeah.
And look at that guy. Ronnie Price. Putting on a show. Granted, it's against the second unit of the Lakers, but second unit of the Jazz.
When you're on the floor, regardless of who it's against, if there's time on the clock, you play hard. That's what Ronnie Price is doing.
He wants more minutes. Crittenden right back and leaves it to Radmanovich. That's the way it's been for Vladiva. And Patrick O'Neal was talking about it. He has not been in sync at the offensive end, and it's over. The Lakers win their 4th consecutive at the expense of the Utah Jazz, and it was over at the half.
Well, it's officially over now as the Lakers walk off the floor victorious against the Utah Jazz. And this is a stretch of games for the Lakers where they've had some tough opposition, with Phoenix last game, Utah tonight, and of course the Celtics coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, beating Western Conference opponents, and now the team with the best record of the NBA, as you mentioned, at 24-3. The challenge on Sunday. Nice way to go into it with your 4th consecutive victory. 123-109 Lakers. Let's head down to Patrick O'Neal. Patrick.
Joel, thank you very much. Kobe Bryant, 4 straight wins.